Hey, guess what? It's midnight, but I had a nap earlier. So, pardon me. Um, I just woke up like 10 minutes ago. Was it longer than that? It's probably longer than I don't know. Anyway, um, okay, so, all of the gossip in the spirit realms at the moment is saying that, sorry, some shit's going down. Um, well, basically, very soon, I'm going to learn something that is going to completely fucking flip my perception of reality. The whole narrative, the whole story that I've been telling myself, it'll be like, whoosh, because I will realize something. Someone's gonna come and tell me something, and it will blow my mind, apparently. So, alright, cool beans, I'm ready for that. Guess what? I mean, this is completely way smaller than the thing that's coming, I assume. But my housemate yesterday was just like going on and on about. Am I like painting my housemate to be like this weird, like mythical? Like you never get to see him, and I was just talking about him. Anyway, um, um, what? What was I saying? Oh no, I distracted myself. My housemate, what now? Oh yeah, I remember now. Yeah, man, he was telling me about how before I met him and my other ex that I was with in high school, they were friends, and I didn't know that the whole time. The whole time. Like, this is news to me. Like, he was like going into like more detail about like how these two guys who I thought their only connection was me this whole time. This whole time. Cause like they were not. Look, I don't know, man. I didn't get the vibe that they were friends when I first met like both of them like at the same time. In cooking class. Like I didn't get the vibe that they like knew each other well. I didn't. But then again, I wasn't really like very tuned in to things back then. But like apparently they would hang out all the time and they would talk all the time. And then I came along, and then I had a thing with like each of them separately. And then there was a whole year where I was going between them and breaking up with one so I could be with the other, and doing that constantly because I had two different alters, two different parts of me that liked them both. I didn't realize that they were friends. I didn't realize that. Like, what do you mean? I had no idea. So this whole time, like this one time, my housemate got really drunk with his other friend, and then something like traumatic happened to him during that. Or was it like just before he got really drunk and that's why he got really drunk? But then he decided to go over to this other guy's house, and I was there, and apparently he knew that I was there. So I thought that he was there because of me, and I was like, what is he doing? I'm trying to hang out with this dude. Like, what do you mean? But like, apparently that was a safe space for him because they had already been friends before we, like, I can't, I'm so, like, it tripped me out because I'm like, my version of reality was far different to, like, they must have thought I was so, like, full of myself, when I thought that I was the only connection between them, and I was acting like I was the main character, that they wouldn't know each other or otherwise be interacting if it wasn't for me. Like, I didn't know anything. I was so confused. So, my whole perspective of that whole period of my life, I can see it through a completely different lens now. And it's tripping me out. I had no idea. Why didn't anyone tell me this the whole time? I was dating both of them. They were both my best friends. Neither of them told me that they were friends before that. And that they had hung out and that they, like, knew each other. Like, I swear, no one told me that. Like, why wouldn't that ever come up? Why would that never come up? That doesn't make any sense. What do you mean? How could... And I was, like, saying, like how could you just let me think that the whole time? Why would you keep that from me? And he's like, I don't think either of us were keeping it from you. I think that it was pretty obvious and you just didn't notice. I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, didn't you notice that I showed up with him to one of your parties one time? Because I was, like, staying at his house and we got dropped back off there. And I was like, oh, maybe. I probably thought that was a bit fucking weird. Like, what do you mean? I don't know, man. Crazy. I would have approached things differently if I knew that. That's, like, vital information. What do you mean? So confused. Oh, so funny. This whole time. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So, I've already had one thing that completely shifted my perception of reality this week, and I think I handled that pretty well. So, let's do another one. It's crazy. Because, like, my whole perception of, like, reality and the last few years has been shifting in relation to my relationship with my ex-partner. So, like, yeah, my whole perception of reality keeps shifting. But, you know, that's, like, life. That's how life is. Reality changes, you change, you adapt. What do you mean? Yeah, because, like, each frequency comes with another perception, and each perception is a reality, and different amounts of data, information, dictate, like, what your beliefs are in your, like, version of reality. The more information that you gather, your reality is going to change, because your perception of reality is going to change with the updated information. And with the new information that you receive, you upgrade. So when we receive more information, we not only upgrade from receiving the information, but from analyzing the way that we see the information, the way that we feel about the information, and why. That's what I do anyway. Indeed. Indeed. So, like, I grabbed this deck because I feel like I have to give myself a reading. And I was doing it, like, I was shuffling it and stuff, and I looked at a couple of cards. And, I was listening to a channeled message at the time, so I couldn't, like, focus on it, but I noticed my brain doing brain things. Because, like, if you notice that you're acting from your brain and trying to, it's like, okay, so, like, if I'm trying to get a message from the cards, right, I have to, like, soften my entire being and open my entire being to receiving the data from the space around me. But if I'm not softened and connected to my senses and allowing information to come through and allowing myself to be a channel and like accept whatever information comes through without judgment and then explore that with curiosity, like if I don't do that then I'm just stuck looking at it and thinking, like, trying to use my brain to analyze what it means, right? And then that's more of like how you get into your own psychology stuff. That's what I need to do. So I'm not meant to be channeling information, I'm meant to be decoding brain stuff. What? For instance, if I were to look at this right now, right, I can immediately feel like a huge block within my own self from like softening and connecting to it. Oh, well, the second that I said that, I felt a channel open where I was allowing that. True. When I said that, I imagined like a little, like, there was like my thoughts. And then one point came to like create this little wormhole. Because like I'm just like, oh yeah, discussion, and then it's like, hang on a minute, what's the deal if we do tune into that, right? And then it's like, if I didn't like focus on it and fixate it on it, like, then I could have easily just completely dismissed it, and it would have been like it never happened. But I I I fixated on it and focused on it because I wanted to discuss it. So like it created like a little wormhole, like, and then I called that a channel, right? And then that reminded me of a fucking reading that I saw someone else doing the other day, right? And she's one of the people where I'm just like, holy shit, like she's so much like me, and she's like so like genuine, and she's a channel, and she's like, anyway, and she was doing a reading, she was doing something, right? And then she started saying something and then quickly stopped herself, and she was like, "Whoop, that's a different channel." And then she did like this thing, and like that my brain just remembered that when I said that. But also, I said, oh, this is another interesting point that I just noted while I was talking just then. I used the word data in like in relation to the information in the field, which yeah, Yeah. But that's the thing. Like, I've never called it that before, because like when I was in high school, and I was smoking synthetic weed, um, gross, the potpourri stuff. Um, Pardon me. Fuck, pardon me. Um, I would see. I, by the way, don't smoke that shit. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Um, so you would just like smoke like a tiny bit. Like you wouldn't have as much as you would like weed or whatever. But and then when you would smoke it, you'd start to feel like physically ill and sometimes throw up. Maybe that's just to do with the amount of trauma they. Oh, probably not. I don't know. Anyway, and then, I would start to see pixels, but I kept calling it data. I was calling it the data. I was like, it's data. Like, I didn't know why I was calling it that. Until recently, when I'm just like always going on about how all energy is information, has information, and we can like translate and decode this information. Um, yeah. And now, like, I'm realizing that, like, when I got into that state, it was literally just, I was seeing everything. I was seeing the data in space. Nothing was solid. Reality wasn't solid. It was all just pixels flashing. And I called it the data. And I didn't know why I was calling that. Anyway, I know why now. But now, so when I called that information data just then, like, it was like a recognition of bridging understandings, but it was like a very subtle thing, but I noted it because I was like, it's like a shift in perception. I'm putting pieces together, and yeah, it feels like integration of sorts. So I'm ready for another like mind bending fucking realization, reality shifting realization. That sounds fun. Let's do that. Let's do it. Oh, and also, I've been getting like messages and stuff about. It's like, I know. I am aware. I'm completely aware that my external reality is a manifestation of my internal reality. I'm completely aware of that. So, whatever situation that I see myself as being stuck in or a part of at the moment, I am creating that in my physical reality by not dealing with something that is still in me. Ow. Blockages. Right? And I obviously have blockages, right? And well, the fucking Shadowbook breadcrumbs has been yelling at me now, like today. Because like I need to. Oh my god. True. I'm meant to be tuning into this information myself. I'm meant to be doing it all myself. Like, I keep feeling, like, I keep noting, oh, there's these resources that I'm meant to be using. But then there's this big energy of like, ugh, stop. No. Like, the resources that you have access to, you're already channeling stuff about this shit before you started accessing those resources and then leaning on that as a fucking crutch. Don't do that. Just take that as a sign that, oh, someone else has received similar breadcrumbs and they've done something with it. Cool. So we don't have to stick to their framework. We can continue to explore the breadcrumbs that were coming up for us. And I just stopped because I noticed that I am referring to myself as plural currently. And we do that a lot. I did it again. But we also front in groups pretending, but like not embodying each of our own essences individually because we want to be seen as a more cohesive human. True. So does that mean that even though I'm trying to be genuine and stuff all the time, I'm still controlling the perception, but it's not intentional. Nah, because it would use too much energy for each individual person to be fully forming and fronting when we have the system that we have at the moment where there are so many people fronting in groups at a time and co-fronting as well. There'd be too much. We wouldn't be able to focus on what we need to focus on in this reality if we're focusing too much on who we are and who we identify as in each individual fucking second, because we switch so fucking rapidly. So we have to just see ourselves as a whole, as one system, as one whole group of beings. I noticed when I was with my friend who has child alters that our child alters haven't. Oh no shit, cunt. Oh my god. I was gonna say our child alters haven't felt safe enough to fully front for okay. There's the trauma I need to work through still. Although we've been kind of there for the child alters lately and trying to stay like trying to be safe for them in a way. They haven't been fronting. They haven't been fully fronting. We need to allow them to fully front, to process things. Not fully front, because we've never there has been like maybe like 2 times ever maybe where one altar was stuck out the front all by themselves and couldn't call upon anyone else, but they were like scared. And they needed lots of cuddles. But like the rest of the time, it's usually like a co-fronty situation, so that there's always someone in the background to help support the person. So even if it was a child altar fully fronting, I already know that I have that backing. I already have that like safety net within my own self. So, but that's the thing, yeah, because I haven't had people around that have made my child altars feel safe. Like ever in my life. I thought that my ex, my son's dad, was that, but now I understand that is not what was happening there. So I need what was I saying? Right. Yeah. So I fully need the child altars to front. And I've been talking to more people, and I said that I identify as a fucking traumatized child, and I still haven't worked through that shit. They kept saying that Alex's story needs to be told. Do you think that that will... Yeah, she has some shit going on. This video is already quite long, and I keep remembering at the end of these videos that I make that I want to make the first installment of the story, whatever the fuck it is. Because I was thinking of just like speaking the story in like 30-minute installments, in 30-minute videos. Maybe 45. It really just depends on like time constraints with my storage capacity and stuff like that. Because I feel like once I start the story, it's not gonna stop. But that means that it will be very annoying to... I just want something I just want to record my story, the entire thing. I wanted it all to just come together. I want one place where I can keep all the information, where I can, like, I want to speak it, but I also want it in writing, and I want to be able to go to it and read it in text and add stuff in text, but also I want to speak it. Go away. I'm sorry. I was trying to scare him and I touched him and we both freaked out. I love you. No, get off. Don't. No. No, what do you mean? He jumped off of my controller and then he went into my wallet. Now he's back on my controller again. Sorry. Hey, wasn't I gonna do some things with this? See, yeah, because then I was meant to look at it and then explain how I could, like, mentally do the thing with the brain thing, and then I started tuning into the channel, which I was like, I don't have access to this channel. And then they're like, but if we did have access to it, what would that look like? Opens the channel. Like, that's what my brain does. That's what my soul does. That's what we do. Like, with anything, if you bring up anything, I can connect to the energy of it and be like, the wormhole will open and I will be exposed to energy about it that I didn't want to be exposed to. Like, Don't let yourself start identifying with random energy that comes to you. It's not always a thing. Bum bum bum. Oh, no way. That's so hectic, man. Okay. Look, I watched many readings today, right? One of them in particular used 3 different decks in the same fucking reading, and each of the decks, the death card came out. It's talking about endings of things and a whole new fucking beginning and stuff. And it was talking about that particular reading, bro. That was like so accurate and relevant, bro. I was like, holy shit. Like, I was literally shaking when all the like confirmation words started coming out and stuff. Like, usually that bit annoys me because there's like hardly any that are relevant to me, but this time like half of them were relevant to me, or to like my journey, my story, the people involved, and I was tripping the fuck out, man. I was like, oh my god, like, no way, like you have no idea, like the reading was so fucking accurate, like, bro. It literally started off with, you posted something and it got the attention of someone, and now there's an investigation, and and it was talking about like a karmic cycle ending, and it was all about like my ex and something I said, I don't know. There was like a whole bunch of stuff. It was crazy, so accurate. But anyway, and then the other readings that I got, that I've been getting, stuff about like receiving blessings, receiving unexpected money, and connecting with someone, right? And that's like what these cards are saying without even having to tune into them. It's just funny. All of these cards are lining up with all the messages I got today. So someone's been thinking about me a whole lot, thinking about the way that they see things, and like reminiscing on stuff, the getting more clarity on a situation. And then the next card is Thief, and it's all about someone doing shady shit and trying to sneak around and having an agenda, and people recognizing that. And then the next one that is here is the Lover, and I was getting a bunch of information about someone coming forward and telling me I guess like yeah, telling me about their version of a connection that we have, and how it has been affecting them, how I have affected them. And then the next two that come up are judge and love. Well, funny. Well, I mean, yeah, that's funny. I want to actually give myself a proper reading. But obviously just then I was just relating it to the stuff that's going on. Sorry, why? I don't know. I'm gonna go now. What do you mean? Sorry. Good night. Morning. Day. Good day, son.